Now even the regular trip to the store has become dangerous, isn't it? Suddenly you can get infected with the coronavirus. The whole world has been living in quarantine in such a tense regime for more than 8 months. The coronavirus and isolation has become a test not only for physical health but also mental health. My name is Dana and I have been researching this topic and read a lot of credible sources for this semester, also experienced it. So, how the quarantine has affected on people's mental health? The pandemic, quarantine, and the associated uncertainty, anxiety for the future didn't have the best effect on people's mental health. The level of anxiety increased. Violation of the usual rhyme of life, restrictions, and uncertainty had a negative impact on the mental state of people. The lack of social interaction due to the quarantine has a profound effect on the human psyche. Nowadays, in all countries of the world, people are faced with difficult times due to the fact that all day they sit within four walls, far from friends, relatives, worried about their health and loved ones. Quarantine affects everyone in different ways. Some introverted people can do it easily, and it can be even comfortable for them. I can say that it's very difficult for people extroverts to adapt to such a lifestyle because I, being a sociable person, experienced it in my own. During an emergency caused by COVID-19, people fear infection, death, and loss of family members. Loneliness is one of the main stressors. Being isolated alone, worried about their loved ones, people are exposed to great stress. Because of the quarantine, many began to worry about sleep disturbances, anxiety, fears, and neurosis. Feelings of constant apathy, negativity, depression can overwhelm people. All this ultimately led to stress or to a more serious condition like post-traumatic stress disorder. Additional major sources of stress are fear of not knowing what is happening and what will happen, anxiety about getting infected. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact that negative information is pouring literally from everywhere. From social networks, messengers, news, and daily statistics are like reports from the front. It's still unclear when all this will end, vaccination will begin, and the borders will be opened. I want to tell you what happened in my family at the beginning of the quarantine. My parents, absolutely all relatives, wanted to figure out this situation themselves and try to understand what symptoms there are, how to be cured, what will happen if you get infected, why people die from coronavirus. It would seem that they will be able to take control of everything, but on the contrary, as more they immerse themselves in this negative information, as more and more disturbance grew. Over time, they just stopped checking the statistics and really felt like the weight had dropped from their shoulders. It affected specific groups of people differently. Mental disorder can occur in physicians who constantly work with dying people, in people with mental disorders of varying severity, as well as in children isolated from friends and in the elderly with weak health worried about relatives. According to the head of the World Health Organization, this situation has disrupted the work of mental health services. They are under extreme stress, facing extreme workloads, the risk of contamination, and the death of patients. There were reports of medical workers attempting suicide. The elderly and people with pre-existing medical conditions are at significant risk of life-threatening risks. About 8 out of 10 reported diseases in the United States occur in people aged 65 and over 37. Understandably, many of them are worried that they might be infected with the coronavirus. Children and teenagers are also one of the risk groups as most mental disorders develop during this period of life. Many children have stopped communicating with friends and are confined to the computer all day long. and the teens felt how the pandemic affected their future. People in situations of humanitarian crisis and conflict deserve close attention. Evidence suggests that 1 in 5 people have some form of mental disorder. Quarantine can exacerbate existing mental health conditions, lead to the emergence of new diseases, and limit access to already scarce mental health services. Psychological stress has become widespread among the population. Many people are stressed by the direct effects of the virus on their health and the effect of physical isolation. Specific populations have particularly high level of psychological stress. Many fear contamination, death, and loss of family members. To maintain a healthy body and mind, people should go in for sport and start proper nutrition because moderate physical activity is a key to strong immunity. Deep sleep helps to resist stress. It's necessary to use quarantine and take up your hobbies. It has been repeatedly proven that doing what you love makes the body release the hormone of joy. Communicate with interesting and positive people. A positive-minded person charges others with positive energy, nourishing both him and others. You shouldn't be afraid and give in to stress, but on the contrary, you need to keep a high spirit in such a difficult time and maintain your health, take advantage of the quarantine time, and be only positive.